Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, it's a complicated political environment, and I really appreciate all of you being willing to step up and serve your country. For all of you but one, you have been serving your country through Foreign Service and have accomplished a great deal to get to the level that you are as ambassadors. But we need your help. I mean, this is discouraging, what's going on. Uruguay being the exception. And to the comments by Senator Rubio, I think we do not take advantage of these relatively pro-democracy, pro-U.S. center and center-right governments enough, and don't show them enough love and support. And that's one reason we end up, with more difficult situations, as we see in pretty much every other country represented, even with regard to Suriname, with regard to their opening to China, which concerns me greatly in the Belt and Road Initiative. So that would be, I would echo those concerns, and I think we need to redouble our efforts to demonstrate our support for those countries that are standing up for democracy, human rights, and allied with us. With regard to El Salvador, I'm going to come at this a little differently. On the U.S. border, we're experiencing something unparalleled. We've never seen it before. We have record levels of people, drugs coming across the border. We've got 3 months left in the fiscal year until we know what the final numbers are. Already we're at record levels of any year in the history of our country. And this is based on so-called encounters, but it's true that Salvador has been sending people to the United States for a long time, legally and illegally. In fact, I'm told that $7 billion in remittances went to El Salvador last year. That's the World Bank figure. That's a quarter of the GDP of El Salvador. And yet you have Bukele treating the United States relationship in a way that would indicate that he doesn't want to cooperate or work with us, and yet there's a strong connection. I don't know quite how to use that leverage, but $7 billion in remittances. One question I'd have for you, Mr. Duncan, because you've been at this a while, you've got a lot of experience in Latin America. Title 42 is about to be revoked if the administration has its way, and roughly half of the people who are stopped at the border and turned back are turned back because of Title 42, and yet we have record levels of illegal migration. So without 42 being in place, it would be a flood, and that's because of our asylum policy, in my view, primarily, but it's also other changes that the administration made. What do you think about that? Do you think human smugglers and drug cartels will come from Salvador in increased numbers if Title 42 is revoked at the border?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I'm afraid I can't speak to what the effect of a revocation of Title 42 would be.
I think you can.
Nor can I tell you, because I'm not involved in the conversations about Title 42. What I can say is that, as you correctly pointed out, we've been seeing irregular migration from Central America. Salvador is a part of that. I think they, in the last year or so, have been in fourth place, about 6% of the total, behind Mexico, Honduras, and Guatemala. I think if I were confirmed, I would be very focused on implementing the administration's strategy with regard to the root causes of migration. I think democracy needs to be strengthened in El Salvador because I think that's critical to prosperity. I think we need to keep working with the Salvadorans to strengthen the rule of law and try and reduce crime and violence.
Yeah, Mr. Duncan, let me interrupt you if I could. I mean, that's fine. We've spent, I don't know, $3.6 billion in the last 5 years in Central America with regard to the root causes. And the migration has increased, not decreased. So I'm not against dealing with the root causes, but that's not the issue. The issue is the pull factor. We went to Latin America, some of us here, including the chairman recently, and the presidents of the countries we visited, 4 of them in Latin America and Central America, all said the same thing, basically, which is you guys are pulling our people north with your policies. So you have a role to play there. You say you can't speak to it. I hope you will speak to it, because I think our own policies are largely the reason that you see this pull for the region, and the illicit drugs are not produced in El Salvador, but boy, it's a major transit country for cocaine and heroin in particular. So I hope that if confirmed, you will get involved in these issues and not just the root causes, as important as they are. The Salvadoran cooperation on counter-drug and anti-gang efforts, I assume you're aware that we do not get the cooperation that we would like to have. Do you commit that you will work on increasing our level of cooperation in that area?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, absolutely. Counter-narcotics has been one of the areas where we have had some success in our collaboration with the Salvadorans, and if confirmed, I would seek to do everything in my power to increase that collaboration. We have also worked with them, and are working with them, I should say, on border intelligence, on alien smuggling. I think those are areas that can even be expanded, and that's what I would seek to do if confirmed.
Okay. I'll have other questions in writing for your other colleagues, but again, thank you all for your willingness to serve. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Portman.